After UFC 314, I was able to ponder and just think about the UFC this year. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that UFC 314 was just a charade. It was just a one time thing. UFC matchmaking has sucked recently, and I don't think I'm the only one has noticed. I mean, I've seen a bunch of videos. I think MMA Guru, he was making a matchmaking video, and Lucas Tracy was pointing out how none of the matchups are getting matched up that we want to see. But it's just this year of UFC is so much less hype than last year. Like last year, we had UFC 300. We had what's it called? We had Taporia versus Holloway. It was a beautiful year, but like it's just this year it's just been so dry. We started off the year with Dricus versus Sean, which was like an okay fight. It's just the pay-per-views have been pretty except for UFC 314. And just looking forward, it's just not looking too good with Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Maddalena, which is a good fight, but the card below it's kind of mid. And I don't know. It's just following the sport really closely. I've seen a lot of laziness from the UFC lately, so let's just hop right into it. So, I just think the UFC keeps on making weird decisions. I think they just, if you noticed in the title screen, I showed Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales and Chito Vera versus Mario Batista. That irrelevant motherfucker. I forgot his name. But the thing that I hate about the UFC that they keep on doing, and they've done it consistently, is that they reschedule fight night fights to UFC pay-per-views, making the fight nights worse and almost unwatchable, and then making the UFC pay-per-view kind of have a mid main card fight in the middle of it. I mean, Chito Vera versus Mario Batista, it was in the Idaho card, and they switched it around for the UFC 316 card with Merab and Sean O'Malley. And you know it's going to be on the made card. And the thing is, it's so annoying just knowing that Dana White has like been so lazy. He had so much time to prepare for this UFC 316 card, but they had to just last minute schedule this like 2 weeks away from their Idaho card. I just hate Dana White because there's like 120 ranked men fighters in the UFC. And the UFC, like, it feels like none of them are fighting. We have a few just consistent fighters who are fighting pretty much like 4 times a year, and then everyone else is just sitting over yonder, just not. It's crazy to me how many fighters like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of these pay-per-views are just lacking talent. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really excited for the future. We have like what's it called? Merab versus Sean O'Malley. I don't know. No one's hyped for that. Kayla Harris and Juliana Pena. You know that card's gonna be whatever. Like there's just some cards where it's like they're gonna play out, and whoever wins, it doesn't really affect your life. Like the UFC 314, there were so many fights that I was on the edge of my seat for, but it's just I don't know. It's kind of a lot of these fights just kind of feel kind of corporate. I don't know, but the thing I just hate how they're not thinking ahead and stuff. My examples were the Burns and Batista. I just think I don't know if you're a billion-dollar company and you have all these fighters on your roster, why can't you like start scheduling a lot of them? I don't know. Like I see a lot of fighters just sitting on their ass and just sitting on their ranking and not fighting down and just I don't know. I hate that the UFC has kind of lost their edge. They're not really putting the pressure on them like they used to. And yeah, I feel like Dana White got comfortable. And the thing that I also hate is that they're a billion-dollar company and we still can't see the like fights we want to see. So they're scheduling all the mediocre fights between the fighters we kind of like, and then the super fights they can't get it done because Dana White can't bend to the fighters. I feel like Dana White's just like you'll see I feel like he's just Mr. Wonderful sitting on a desk. Just he can't move the like number at all. He's just businessman at heart, and he thinks he's this like businessman, and it's just like he's a billionaire, and he can give us these fights if he wants to. He just needs to add a few more million. What's it to you? Like if you noticed a few million out of your bank account, Dana White would have no clue it's there. I just feel like I don't know. The John Jones fight should happen, no matter what. Dana White should pay his demands and then some. And I don't know. I just feel like there's no direction in the war room. So yeah, let's move on. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue my rant about this. It's just Marab and Sean O'Malley are fighting in a UFC pay per view with no hype. UFC 315. It is a good card. It was way better before Michael Morales, Gilbert Burns was pulled off. Now it's going to be a women-centric card with probably Alexa Grasso versus Natalie Da Silva in the card. And there's going to be some good fights. Jose Aldo's fighting someone you've never heard of, Ariel Helwani, pretty much. Um, and then who else is fighting? I think that the thing is, it's kind of gone sad. I just feel like the UFC pay-per-views have just I don't know. I haven't been excited for one since UFC 314, and now looking yonder, it's just so sad that we can't put that on consistently. I feel like we have the athletes. I mean, we have so many just like well-known fighters and so many fighters that just like the UFC like fans love, and I don't know. None of these pay-per-views are stacked ever, and the thing is, it's like it's partially like because of the UFC fighters and they don't want to fight, but it's also partially on matchmaking and how shit just Dana White and Sean Shelby are, and how they just never are able to just put on the fights that we want to see. And yeah, I mean, the lightweight division is another example. They're all asking for a title shot, and none of them wants to fight each other. Ilya Taporia, just on the Joe Rogan podcast, was whining about having to fight someone at lightweight. I don't, dude. It's and Oliveira is also doing the same thing. It's genuinely just such a shit show, and it's so sad to watching all these best fighters in the world supposedly just bitch and moan instead of actually fight each other for the championship. And yeah, instead of in negotiations, I feel like we're waiting until they're out of their prime. And this is another one of their Mr. Wonderful tactics I believe Mr. Dana White is doing. I don't know. I just feel like Dana White has these old Boston tricks that his old dad, old pops used to tell him. And it's never bend in business. Or like he'd probably have some saying like that. Some old Boston saying. But I don't know. It's just so unfortunate seeing all these fighters never fighting each other. I don't know. It's pretty sad to me. And yeah, the last thing I'll add is that I think these goobers need some youth in the matchmaking meetings. I think it's a probably circle jerk in there. I just think Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, and Hunter, they're all just sitting in there like, good idea, gang. And I feel like these guys were all nerdy dudes, like in high school and stuff. Maybe not Mick. Mick kind of seems a little more charismatic, but definitely Hunter and the other guy. But yeah, I just feel like they're all in the war room together, and they're all feeling like, I don't know, they feel like they're the connoisseurs of the UFC. Like, they put their pinkies up as they're making the fights, and they're so profound with their UFC knowledge. And how dare you question them? I don't know, it's just, I feel like they're all in there, like, touching each other's wieners, and they're all giving each other congratulations and shaking each other's hands. And they're high-fiving after making Jose Aldo versus, I forgot his name, Amin Zahabi. There we go. And Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena. This is what the fans want to see, guys. High five. All right, we're out of here. And they're just so not in touch with what the UFC fans want to see. I just haven't seen an impressive, like, when was the last time you saw a UFC card drop that was impressive? That you were like, oh shit, I would really haven't like thought of that. Like, I'm so glad we get to see that. Like, none of those, like, maybe on short notice, it was, like, the Fiziev versus Gaethje fight was kind of cool. Yeah, it's only short notice fights when it's on Abu Dhabi and they need to do good to Alahad Ladad Al-Ashik, But, yeah, I just think they have weird biases as well. Like, Yair Rodriguez is getting told backstage that he's getting the title shot next when... Why? Like, why would Yair, like, why, like, what did Yair do to I don't understand what he did to deserve it. I don't know why these UFC execs are so much on his side. I don't know who's, like, making this, like, all of these guys are just, like, their decisions are mind-numbing, bro. Like, the fact that Yair Rodriguez is probably getting thought of for the shot, and Gene Silva's probably in considerations as well, like, I don't know. I feel like these guys just strive for, yeah, another point. They just strive for mediocrity. Like whenever you look at a UFC card, like it's here's a lot of the times like I feel like it's more than half of them where it's an okay card and there'll probably be some few fun fights on it, but I don't know. It's just a lot of cards could be so good, but we get so few good cards a year, and it's so disappointing because this is $1 billion company, and they definitely have the funds to do it. And I'm not saying go crazy with it. I'm realistic. I'm not saying give the UFC fighters $1 billion and let's get super fights going, and let's not be profitable. Like I'm not saying that. Like I don't know. I'm just saying a lot of these like matchups are getting like rescheduled last minute. A lot of the fights we want to see aren't getting made because you guys aren't budging, even though you have a lot of money and you can, and it would make you so much more money than what it would cost you. To be honest, Tom Aspinall is not like thinking of taking too much. Ilya Topuria, I know that fight would be expensive, but it's still like, dude, you have to make these sacrifices to make the UFC just as popular as possible. You have that opportunity, and I just think you should do it. That's my video. I hope you enjoyed. Wish you subscribed, and yeah, hopefully you watch the next one. See ya.